What is up, everybody? This is episode 2 of Behind the Faith podcast. I am here, your host, Brian, with my beautiful wife.
I'm Danny.
And we are here in this beautiful home gym where we are going to be speaking to our guest this week. As I introduced him last week, this guy is crazy about his fitness, which translates into the way he lives his life, how he runs his businesses. So without further ado, we're going to introduce our guest, Mr. Robert. All right, we're here. Thank you so much for having us, brother. How was your week?
Amazing. It's been blessed so far. Been able to work hard, see my family, and I'm just excited to accomplish another week and keep it going.
So. Yeah, you've still been working hard and everything?
Been working out hard, doing everything to the best of my ability, so it's been good.
What about wife, kids, everybody?
They're
okay?
Great. They're great. My wife is able to teach my daughter school from home. My son is growing, and we're just doing the best we can in the situation we're in right now.
Yeah, bro, this whole COVID situation's been insane. How have you dealt with yourself as in terms of family, in terms of business, with all this COVID?
I think initially it threw me off. I think initially I looked at it as, okay, how am I going to lose in my business? What's going to happen with school, with our family? Is my family at risk of getting it? A lot of unknowns because I was fearful.
Yeah.
As it progressed, I realized it was a challenge. It was something that we have to overcome together. Got back to work. I found other innovative ways to make money. Half my business did slow down, but I was able to do other things to make up that difference. My family's been great.
Did you do because I've seen a couple of your videos with sanitizing the office and stuff like that? Was that something that you introduced after this whole COVID stuff, or did you already have that system in place, or was one of the ways?
No, we never did. One of my business partners had the equipment and never used it. So what it is the electro-spraying disinfectant. He brought the idea, and I just kind of took it to some people that I knew, and we've been able to sanitize a lot of facilities for people, make it a safer place for them to work during this time, but also make some extra money. So it's been great. It's been a blessing, definitely.
In terms of business.
I was going to say, let's take a step back and kind of just tell us what you do and what's the name of your business.
Okay, so 4 years ago I started a janitorial business called Propel Cleaning Services. Started that 4 years ago with a bucket from under my wife's kitchen, a couple towels, and I believe our vacuum that didn't work very well. Started that from scratch. That's been going for 4 years now. And then I also have a delivery service business, True Blue Delivery. We deliver a lot of freight, household goods. That has been going on for about 3 months now, so still in the beginning process, but I believe if I can develop it and set it up the way I did Propel, it'll be successful in the same manner as himself.
And what did you do before, for the people? I mean, I personally know you.
Yeah.
But for the people that don't necessarily know who you are or what you do, what did you do before you started the businesses?
So before I was a business owner, I was a corporate employee for a company that did the ignition interlocks. It was the breathalyzers for people who get DWIs. And I worked for them when I was 19 until I was 29. 29 is when I resigned. I was in college. 19 years old, looking for a job. There was an ad on the door. It says it pays $11 an hour. To me, that was a lot back then. Money. Went to the interview, got the job, and just hustled. Just worked my way from interlock technician all the way to state director when I resigned. So a lot of goals were accomplished, a lot of business lessons, a lot of relationships with people that I met in that time. But it was a great 10 years that I'm glad I did that before I went on my own and started my own ventures.
Yeah, that's one of the things I want to talk about a lot, because I feel like personally a lot of people are scared to make that jump. And I talked to you earlier, it's how do you make that jump from being in a corporate job to kind of doing your own thing? Now you being the boss,
yeah.
you being the leader of your own company. Was it scary at first for you, or what did?
Absolutely. I'll remember the day I resigned. I went to my boss's office and we talked, and it was kind of awkward. We worked together for 10 years, but I could tell he was in boss mode. And we just kind of came to the agreement that I had mentally clocked out. I was doing my job, but I wasn't doing it to the best of my ability. And we thought it was a good decision to resign. And when I went back in my office, I remember sitting down I looked up at all my pictures of my family. I looked up at everything I had done, and I said, man, I worked hard for this office. I worked hard for that position, and to know that in 2 weeks I was no longer going to have keys to the facility, it was a reality. But at the same time, it was a good feeling. I sat and I prayed about it, and no more than 5 minutes, I got a call about, hey, can you come look at our office? We would love for you to clean our facility. And in that time frame, I was able to make up half of the salary difference in one building. So a blessing came from it, but I was nervous. A guaranteed paycheck, benefits, knowing that direct deposits going to go in every 2 weeks, and to tell my wife and my kids that I'm going to have to earn everything that we have. It was a challenge, but I've always been up for a good challenge.
Yeah.
Did you start the cleaning business kind of as a side hustle at first? You did?
Yes,
okay,
I did. I started it because I've always worked 2 jobs, whether it be whatever it was. I'd be a security guard and work the interlock job. I'd work at restaurants and have the interlock job, just enough to pay for our child care for our daughter, or whatever it was, groceries, bills. But finally hit me one day. My mentor, actually, met him in the gym, and he said, Rob, I don't understand. You work extremely hard in the gym. You do everything possible.
I can attest to that.
And then you go to work, and you work from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. very minimal. He said, it just doesn't translate to your lifestyle. I don't know why you're not doing something extra to have an extraordinary life. And his saying is, do you want to live an ordinary life or an extraordinary life? And the first time I heard that, I took it as, okay, do I want to be poor or do I want to be rich? And when I kept saying to myself, that's not what he means. He means, do you want to be ordinary and just get by, or do you want to live to the best of your ability and do the most that you possibly can? So that had me thinking, and he told me, you should start a side business. He said, at-home business. That's what he said, at-home business. So I came home and I said, at-home business. Does that mean sell stuff on eBay? Does that mean cook stuff? I didn't understand what at-home business meant, so I Googled it and I saw 1,000 things to do. So no, I can't do any of these. Or I can, I don't think I know what I'm going to do.
Yeah.
I recalled as a kid, my uncle had a cleaning business, and he always told me how he killed it. He had nice cars, he had a nice house, and I remember him saying, oh yeah, you can do this at nighttime and on your own. You don't need a lot of employees, not a lot of money. And that's what gave me the concept and the idea to start from scratch. So instead of going to a franchise and buying into a cleaning business, I wanted to just start on my own. And anything that I do falls on me. So I'm glad I did it.
Yeah, no, that's the hustle that a lot of people don't see. You know what I mean? That's my whole concept with everything. It's like, bro, I mean, somebody will look at you and be like, all right, this dude has this, and this, but they don't know that you started with the cleaning supplies that you had in your own house. You know what I mean?
Well, not only that, but you started it as a side business. I feel that a lot of people fail in the businesses that they start because they don't wait until they're at a point to quit their 9-to-5 job. You know, they just jump into it, and that's why they fail.
But also, what about being money driven? Because I think that, in a sense, people start jobs or they'll start businesses to be like, okay, well, I'm going to start this business because that guy looks like he's making a lot of money.
Yeah.
And when in reality, it took that guy 10 years. So now it's like, okay, I've been doing this 1 year. I don't see any money. What am I going to do?
That's true. I feel though that, have you seen that photo of the iceberg that's in the water?
Yeah.
This is the hard work and this is stuff you
I
don't
love that
see.
picture.
Yeah, and I think that with people that are barely starting off, they didn't see that you started your cleaning business while you were working your 9-to-5. They didn't see that, and then they jump off and then they're like, wait, I wasn't prepared for this,
Yeah, no, I completely agree. What about in terms of now forward a couple years later, it's established, your company's basically rocking and rolling. What was your transition between, being the employee, because you didn't necessarily have to worry about, being in charge of more people, to now being the leader? How were you a natural leader right off the bat, or how did you work out that?
I've always been able to lead people by example. I've always led people by, I'll do it first, show you how to get it done, and naturally they follow. I think the challenge was employees. With employees, you can find really good people who want to build your brand and support you. There's always that certain amount of time where they get resentful, or they know too much about your business and now they want to either duplicate it, replicate it, or they want to harm it. They want to do things to sabotage what you've built hard and what you've started from scratch. So my biggest thing is I trust a lot of people. Someone who works for me says, I'll do whatever it takes. I'll give them that same trust back and that same commitment to whatever it is that we need to get done. But that's been my biggest issues. So I've been able to understand, okay, I know how to keep that relationship professional, talk about work, not get too much about family and personal.
Yeah.
And you just got to be cutthroat with it. It's unfortunate that it has to be that way in my industry, but that's been the biggest thing I think I've had to deal with. When I started, it was me and my wife, and one of our family members. They're not gonna. My wife's not gonna do me dirty. My family's not. But you hire other people from the outside in. They don't, like you said, they don't know the work you put in. They don't know how hard it was to get that contract.
They don't have to. They won't buy into the culture. You know.
Yeah.
It's like the culture you build up, bro. It's hard to find people that will truly stick to that concept. And I've had a couple of troubles too. Even just a year we've been in Bernalillo. You know, it's like me going from a position where I was a GM. You know, so it's like I still had to manage people. But now it's like, okay, everything falls on me. You know, the way that I kind of see it, and it's like I don't blame anybody else, and you have the same mindset. It's like I want everything to be under me. You know what I mean? It's like when you tell people like whatever happens in life, whatever failures you have, if it's under me, then I'll take the blame for it. I'll take the fall for it. You know, and I think doing stuff like that, people really appreciate it. You know.
Okay, Robert, one of the things that I wanted to ask you is after looking at your social media, I noticed that your dad had passed away. Can you tell us a little bit more about that and kind of how that helped you grow to who you are today?
Absolutely. Yes, that was a hard part of my life. I was 19 years old. My grandmother had just passed when I was 18. My grandmother actually raised me, so she was like a mother to me. And that was the hardest time of my life. Losing the first person in my family to be my grandma was just the backbone of who raised me. My dad was there for me. Everybody was there for me. And I was able to kind of move along and continue my education and work. And I finally moved to Albuquerque from Santa Fe. So things started to kind of catch some steam. And 19 years old, I get a call and they said, hey, your father's passed away. And this was unfortunate. It was sudden. He was 42 years old. Didn't see it coming. I wasn't prepared. It was hard on me. And knowing that I have a brother and sister that at that time they were 3 and 2 years old, they had no idea. I knew they were going to grow up without a father, not knowing what it was like to be around him. And I just wanted to take on that responsibility of being that father figure for them. So for me, I took it as a challenge. I think my back was against the wall. I had to make all the decisions on his funeral, what's going to happen. And I just thought it was a challenging time for me. And I had two choices. Either one, I was going to rise from it and be the best version of myself, or I was going to follow in the same footsteps. And I was just so determined to be better, not only for him, for my brother, my sister, for my family, but for my name. I am named after him.
Yeah.
I just wanted to do the best. So that was probably the pivotal moment of my life when I just decided from this point on, it's going to be all business. I didn't know what it meant, family and cleaning business. I just knew that I was going to do the right things in life. So same year is when I got that job. And that's probably why I committed for so long, is because I just made that promise to be successful, and I didn't want to let him or anybody else down. So
yeah, no, I feel that. And we were just talking something about a little, when we were on break, but how did that kind of shape your life now that, that you're married? Kind of losing your dad at that age, but also, you told us that your parents were separated growing up. How has that shaped you now?
Absolutely. Well, as far as my father goes, I'll never forget when my wife told me she was pregnant. I thought to myself, I said, what kind of father am I going to be? When she gets older, what am I going to look like? What are my habits going to be? And I made a decision that once she's born, I'm done. I'm done drinking. I'm not going to be out of shape. I'm going to get in the gym. I started going to sports and wellness, and truth be told, I couldn't afford the membership. I went to a gym that I couldn't afford a membership only because I wanted the motivation to say, hey, if this is going to be this price, then I'm going to make sure that I make the most of it. And
you also met all the mentors there too.
All the mentors, all the business people. I mean, to be able to be exposed to a fitness club that enabled me to meet so many people, I'm forever thankful. And all I did was walk in for a gym membership. So that was the first thing, is I wanted to make sure as a father that I was prepared and that I was ready to be here for the long run. I want to be here for my kids until I can. And as long as I can control it, it's in my control. So not drinking, going to the gym, doing the right things to treat my body, to me that's longevity for my kids. Yes, it's for me, but I do it for them and for my wife and family. As far as the relationship goes in a family, there was a challenge for me because my parents were never married. I didn't grow up in a household with two parents that taught me how to be husband and wife. So as a challenge to me, that's another commitment I wanted is in life, is I wanted my own family. I wanted to be the one that breaks that generational curse and says, hey, families are supposed to be married, both kids in the household, not sharing custody of children and going to court for things when all the importance is in the household and is in the kids, raising those kids to be better than you. So having a marriage is just important to me, and just being a good example for my kids. That's my goal.
Yeah, we can feel that. I mean, we just got married last month, so we're that's some advice that we'll definitely take for the future when we have kids. It's hard. It's hard. Yeah. It's just sometimes, it's like you don't necessarily realize how things can shape you until you take full control of your actual mind, because when you're a kid, it's like things can phase you, but at the same time you're a kid at the end of the day. You forget about things 5 minutes after, but when you're an adult, 18, 19, 20 years old, you start remembering all these things when you were little, and you're like, okay, well maybe that is the reason why I'm doing this today. You know what I mean? So it's like you start realizing like, wow, that shit did kind of take a turn,
Yeah, it's hard. It's really hard.
And the blessing in it is having a single mother. She showed me independence. She showed me hard work. She showed me that, I remember she would buy something for the home, whether it be a table, new stereo, and she'd say, Rob, you want things like this when you get older, you have to work extremely hard. And when you get them, you have to take care of them. Mm-hmm. And that just always stuck with me. It always stuck with me how hard she worked, how she would go from job to job. And she did it consistently. It wasn't a phase. She didn't do it because it was Christmas season. She did it throughout the entire year. And because of her, I have to thank her for my work ethic, because I got that from her. Absolutely. Everything that I've ever done has been because she showed me somehow, some way. So
I posted a little video earlier, bro, because I'm just like, dude, I see so many people, bro, just keep asking me so many damn stupid questions, bro, and I just get tired. But in terms of work ethic, bro, do you think you're just born with it? Can you teach somebody work ethic?
Well, I think they have to find a passion. I think when they find a passion or a reason why they're doing it, then that can elevate their work ethic. Example, you'll find someone in high school or 18, 19, they want a car. They work extremely hard to save up for a car, but then they get the car, and then the motivation, asking for extra shifts kind of deteriorates because they got that goal. I think as a person, you have to look at it as, hey, if I'm going to work for Brian, what skill set am I going to learn? What am I going to do after that? Am I going to use that and make my own concept? Am I going to go into another type of business? What can I take from somebody and use it in another career? Like for me, in the interlock job, there was 10 years, and I would say 6 years out of the 10 was I just 8 to 5, I clocked in, I clocked out, and I never really thought about development. Well, at some point, my boss would give me little tidbits. He'd say, hey, Rob, you should read a book. I read in high school. Oh, Rob, you should take a class. And you should do some typing tests. And none of it really, I thought he was trying to insult me or trying to kind of lower me down because I was telling him, oh, I'm working out, I feel good, I look good. He's like, yeah, but how's your mind? What are you doing to educate yourself? And I took it as insecurity because I wasn't doing anything. Mm-hmm. So instead of letting my pride get the best of me, I started doing those things. I started taking free online typing tests in between clients. I started talking to people differently. Like I would see somebody come in, hey, you're so-and-so with 2 kids, how was your job? You work here? And they'd be like, yeah, how do you know all this? I made that a game for me. I'm going to remember people. I'm going to treat them like they deserve to be treated, and I'm going to keep that going because they'll keep coming to me the more I act like that.
And I think that's a game changer now in the place of business, even just in general in life, bro. It's like
building that rapport.
Yeah, with technology and everything going, like in the next 5 years, this world is gonna be like freaking just craziness, bro. Like it's gonna be so competitive in terms of people can do the same thing. So how are you gonna be different? How are you gonna go and get the clients? Because everybody's doing the same exact thing, you know. So that's a good idea that you give. Just to kind of wrap it up a little bit, maybe. What is a good piece of advice that you can give somebody, like maybe like myself, that's just starting out? You know, has whole life ahead of them. What would you say to that person?
You know, I would say sit down and look at what you want in life. Do you want money, family, you know, the house, the cars? Think about what you really want and make sure your focus doesn't just go one way. For me personally, I shifted in one direction. I decided to focus on business, and I didn't take time to think about my kids, my wife, my faith, my friendship, everything else, and I kind of kicked everybody aside and I got very one-dimensional. Few years in, 4 years in, now I look at everything like I want to be the best at everything. I do want to be the best husband. I do want to be the best dad. I want to be the best trainer. I want to be the best business owner, the best friend. And anything that I do, I just want to do it the best way possible. So to have different reasons of why will just get you so much further than just saying money. Because we'll make the money. The money will come. The money will go.
Yeah, money follows.
When you have the money, when you have the house, what if you're not happy? What if you're, you know, divorced? What if your kids don't like you? To me, that's my fear. So I want to achieve my goals, but I want to do it with my family. And I want to do it with people that support me and want them in my life. So my thing is just keep your faith strong, focus on your family, focus on your business, and focus on your health.
I feel that 100%. There you have it, guys.
Robert Martinez.
My man.
We'll be right back.